Hello everybody. So for this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a wire wrapped link sun catcher. And it's so much fun once you get the wire wrapped loops down. What you'll need is a ruler. You will need 3 large focal beads of some sort and some accent beads if you want. And then you will need some 22 gauge wire. You need some kind of focal for the bottom dangly piece. And then you need some kind of a ring for the top for hanging your sun catcher. So this is actually a toggle. Toggles that don't have their matching pieces are great to use for sun catcher toppers. And then you will need, I highly recommend 2 pairs of flat or chain nose pliers. You need some flush cutters and round nose pliers. And you can use your 6-step looping pliers for this as well. So we're gonna start by cutting. So we have 3 focals. So 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna cut 4 6-inch pieces of 22 gauge wire. So there's 1. I'm just going to count that piece as 2. And you can use 20 gauge for this as well. It's just a matter of strength and what is going to fit through the beads. There's 3. I just need 1 more. And this will be good. I'm using scrap pieces. It's always good to save your scraps. Okay, so what you want to do is move all your beads and things to the side. We want to go through and straighten out all of our wires. You can use nylon tip pliers or a wire straightener. This is just what I happen to have. Another thing you can do actually is use the handles of your pliers and pinch the wire in between. Or of course you can use your fingers. And your pieces don't have to be like paper edge straight. They just need to be smooth with no kinks and bends. That one's okay. Okay, so what we're gonna do is lay out 3 pieces. We're gonna put 1 off to the side, but lay out your 3 pieces. We're gonna design our links. So I have this really pretty lampwork glass bead and my blue accents and some purple with gold rice beads. So this is gonna be my first link. There we go. My second link is this flower, and I have my blue accent beads and my rice beads. And then this piece will be my third link, and I actually have a nice little bead cap for it. And then the blue and the rice beads. So this is how you can map out and design your sun catcher. So we're gonna grab the first piece of wire, and at about 1.5 inches of the way down, you're gonna hold that, and you're gonna take your flat nose pliers and pinch the wire with the pliers. You're gonna make a 90-degree angle. I pushed away and made a 90-degree angle. Now, mind you, from left to right will be the top of the sun catcher down. You're gonna put your round nose pliers in. Now, if you're using round nose pliers like this and you want all your loops to be the same size, you can make a Sharpie mark to mark where you are making your loops. Otherwise, if you do one here and then do one here, they're going to be totally different sizes. So I'm using the most tapered portion of my round nose pliers. So what I did is from the 90-degree angle, right? You want your pliers on top of the short tail. So my mandrel is on top of the 90-degree angle. And I'm bending the wire up and all the way around. So it looks like this. This is where you want to stop. And now we have, I call this a crooked balloon. So you just want to take the short tail and center your balloon. The goal is to get this to be a 90-degree angle. It makes it so much easier for wrapping, for wrapped loops. I'm telling you, this right here and having a centered loop is absolute key. So I'm gonna pull these out, and this is optional. You can attach your sun catcher topper now or later with a jump ring. I am going to attach mine now. I need to open the loop a little bit. Then you want to take one pair of flat or chain nose pliers, and you want to hold your loop. If you don't hold your loop when you're wrapping it, it will totally get distorted on you. Then what we're going to do is with the other pair of pliers, see this, you're going to see why this 90-degree angle is so important. With the other pair of pliers, trying to get the camera to focus here, you're going to grab that tail and you're just going to guide this piece of wire around. And I typically like to do 3 wraps. The goal is to get that longer piece of wire wrapped. This wire, you don't need to twist it or move it. All you're focusing on is the short piece of wire. And then if you need to tighten up your coils, you can kind of squish them down together like that. And then we're going to take the flesh cutters. You want the flat face of your cutters against your project. And I like to hold my piece of wire so it doesn't go flying. Then once you've got that cut, you want to take your flat pliers and just grab the circle, grab the whole loop. I'm just kind of getting it squished around there. So that's what we have. These steps right here, we're going to do repetitively throughout this whole sun catcher. So now what we're going to do is add our first set of beads. And if you have beads that need to go a certain direction, just pay attention to which direction you're putting them on. Okay, so now I have my beads on. So now we're going to do another wrapped loop. So I have my flat pliers flush at the top of the beads. Now, if your flat pliers are tapered, pay attention. It's just like the round nose pliers. Really pay attention to where you're making that 90-degree angle. So I'm just pushing it back. I've got my 90-degree angle. I am grabbing my round nose. I am putting them on top of the 90-degree angle in the same spot I did before. I'm bending the wire up and all the way over. Now what I'm doing here is I'm releasing my grip, rotating my pliers, grabbing the loop, and I'm just going to bring this short tail over. And if I need to, I'm going to push this over a little bit so that I can get that nice centered loop and 90-degree angle. Then what you're going to do is grab your flat pliers, grab your other pliers, and just pull that wire around. And honestly, there's so many different ways to do this. It's what works best for you. I am holding the loop with my dominant hand and wrapping it with my non-dominant. Now we're going to flush cut off that tail and hold your wire so it doesn't go flying when you cut it. And then tucking. So we have our first sun catcher link. So now we're going to grab our second piece of wire, right? Find the 1.5" mark. Grab your flat pliers, make your 90-degree angle. I'm going to do this loop at a different angle for you guys. It's just kind of awkward with my phone camera. So this is where you want your round nose pliers, on top of that 90-degree. Okay? I'm bringing this short tail up, over, all the way. Releasing my plier grip and grabbing again so that I can cross over this short tail and center my balloon. You just center it a little bit more. There we go. Now, before we wrap this, we need to connect that first link that we made. Now, when you're wrapping, you're always going to go the direction that the wire is already going. You're just going to go with the direction of the wire. So I'm doing 3. We're going to cut this tail. tuck our pokey. And then we add our second set of beads. I actually want the flower to go this way. There we go. Okay, and then again, you're gonna take your flat pliers, grab at the top of the beads, 90-degree angle, round nose pliers, up and all the way over. Release your grip so that you can keep forming that circle, and center your loop. Now with this, when you're wrapping, you're gonna wrap as many that you can fit. You're just gonna wrap as many little wraps that you can fit. And when you're doing this, make sure it's not so tight that you crush your beads, because you don't want to crush your beads. Then we're going to cut and tuck. Now we're on our third piece. So again, at the 1.5 inch mark, grab your flat pliers, make a 90-degree angle, grab your round nose pliers, taking that tail up and all the way over. I'm releasing my grip and grabbing so I can keep forming that circle, centering my balloon. Remember, this 90-degree angle is key. It helps a lot. Now before you wrap, let me show you guys this while I'm thinking about it. It helps if you lift the loop when you go to add a connector piece. So again, hold your wire, hold your loop with your pliers, and just make 3 little wraps. And then go ahead and flush cut off that little tail and tuck. Okay, so now we're on our last set of beads. So you can go ahead and slide those on. I love bead caps so much. Okay, and again, grab your link at the flush at the top of the beads, 90-degree angle, round nose pliers on top of the 90-degree angle, bring the wire up and over, release your grip, grab again so you can keep making a circle, and center your circle. Grab your loop and wrap until those coils reach that top of the bead. And just when you're coiling, make sure they're nice, tight, next to each other. It gives it a really clean look when you're mindful about your coils. Okay, there we are. So we've got the main piece of our sun catcher done. That wire that we put off to the side earlier, let's see, I'm gonna show you guys something different for a second. We're gonna go with green. I want to show you guys this. So if your dangly is a bead and you want to do, it's not like there's just a hole in it. We're gonna do a knotted head pin. So you're gonna take your round nose pliers, grab the very end of that wire, and what you're gonna do is roll the wire, and you want that pokey bit on top. You're gonna make 2 coils. So you should have something like this. Then you're gonna take the wire and bend it up so it's kind of on top of that pokey bit. Then if you hold it like this with the coils on the inside, I'm actually gonna kind of smush these coils together a little bit. If you hold it like this, take the end, put it through those coils, pull the wire up, you have a knotted head pin. And you can add your focal bead and it won't go anywhere. So then what you would do with this is, again, grab at the top of the bead, make your 90-degree angle, grab your round nose pliers, go up and over. I'm releasing my grip so I can keep making that circle and center my balloon. So I really just wanted to make sure I showed this to you guys. I'm gonna lift my loop and I'm gonna plop this up here at the top. And you can add little danglies like this, like throughout all the little links on your sun catcher. Okay. And I'm going to snip and tuck. So now there's just a fun little dangly up there. Okay, so that's how you would do your bottom focal if you had a bead with a hole going down through it. If you just have something like this, let me show you what I like to do. Let me grab another piece of wire. Yeah, we'll use that one. This one's like really long. Okay. So I have another piece of wire. I'm getting it smoothened out. Now, I like to have a little play in my danglies. So I'm at 1.5 inch mark, making my 90-degree angle. Now, I always make a loop based on the size of this. Like, I want to make sure the loop is big enough for play. If you don't have 6-step pliers, you can use a pen or something. But I'm gonna use this one. This is the 6mm mandrel. So I'm going up and over, right? So I have this nice big loop. I'm gonna lift it so I can attach my leaf here. And then I'm gonna wrap the loop. And I like that this leaf will have some play in it, meaning it can wiggle around. Okay, and then I'm gonna add another set of beads. Also, it's really important if your wire is as smooth as possible when you do this, because it does make it easier to slide your beads on. Okay, and then again, grab at the top of the beads, 90-degree angle. Round nose pliers on top of the 90-degree angle. Bring the wire up, over, release your grip, rotate your pliers, because that gives you more room to keep making your circle. And then center your balloon. Then we're gonna lift the loop a little bit so we can attach our sun catcher. And grab your loop and just do nice coils all the way to the top of the bead. And remember to not make it so tight that you break your bead. Okay, so we've done it. So you can hang this in your window, in your bathroom. I really love how this turned out. This is a great little sun catcher. I very much hope that you guys enjoyed this. Please drop a comment. And if you're new to me, my name is Bailey. If you love what you see, please subscribe to my channel. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day.